and justice also from a psychological point of view. Do you think that we underestimate how travel shapes who we become as professionals, especially in Ghana? Do you think so? Let me start with you, Justice.
Yeah, I think that we all grow up from different environments, and the environment in which we grow up in shapes our understanding over several matters, especially when it comes to travel. Some people think that I need to travel when I have money, because in their mind, traveling means that I have to go out of the country, or I have to leave the region where I find myself in. But all you know, traveling might be just coming out of your building and then choosing to sit at a recreational facility. Some people will say, oh, recreational facility, I don't have the money to go to the restaurant to go and eat. That is why we have the local chop bars. Be grateful for what you have, because what you have can be a stepping stone to something great.
Right.
Okay. So I believe strongly that it has to do more with the mindset that we grew up from, depending on our family systems, depending on the people that we're exposed to. And then moreover too, some people might not be open to the idea of traveling because of their past experiences. In fact, we have cases where people have had accidents traveling on the airspace, traveling on road in trains. And so for them, it will be very difficult for them to say, I am going on a long journey, let alone even decide to even want to travel outside, because they have not healed from such experiences.
Right.
All right. So experiences could malign or could make people have a negative perspective about this whole thing called traveling. However, the most important thing is that once people have access to knowledge, and access to knowledge is like light. Okay, in spirituality, knowledge is light. A place is dark, I cannot see clearly. And it's not about only the environment, but myself also. So, for example, this talk show that we are having, Lady Priscilla is also sharing her thoughts from her experiences in dealing with people who do a lot of traveling. Yeah. I'm also coming from the psychological or mental health point of view, making us understand the importance of traveling, which, of course, is like a subset of leisure.
Right.
Because you are taking time off the normal activities that you are involved in terms of work, in terms of personal life, even in terms of mothering, like parenting. Yeah. Someone might parent their children for a very long time and they might feel overwhelmed. We'll be talking about burnout, And so I believe strongly that people's perspective, which are, for lack of a better word, negative, or which psychologists would call it unhealthy thought patterns or unhealthy perceptions or unhealthy mindset about traveling, will begin to, fade away as they get exposed to the things that we'll be sharing in reference to traveling. So, number one, traveling, you don't need a lot of money to travel.
Right.
Traveling can just be few distance away from your house. Few distance away from your region. Okay. And in case the person will say, oh, me, I've not healed from my experience in terms of accident on the road. Even accident could be maybe armed robbery or whatever it is. You've not healed from it. I think that you need maybe a psychologist. Not a maybe. You need a psychologist or a therapist to help you heal from that experiences, so you can move out there. Lady Priscilla talked about the fact that traveling is like a book. You have to read. I don't know if I'm getting it right.
Yeah, that's
it's like a book that needs to be read. Yeah. So there's a lot out there.
The world is a book.
The world is a book.
And traveling helps you to read.
And traveling helps you to read.
Yeah.
Of course, there is even a scripture in the book of Proverbs. Maybe when I get a scripture, I'll bring it out. It says, wisdom stands at the gate of cities calling on us. So you wouldn't be able to attain a certain level of wisdom, a certain level of discernment, okay, over certain matters in relation to yourself and in relation to others. Of course, Z focuses on people in business and corporate world. You wouldn't be able to have that access to knowledge when it comes to the corporate world or when it comes to your personal life until you travel, until you come out of your quote-unquote comfort zone. Right. Comfort zone here means that your actual work of place. Comfort zone here means that your actual abode, you wouldn't have access to such, enlightenment until you travel.
So a lot of things influence people's perspective or view of traveling and all of that. And, there are certain tribes or ethnic groups in Ghana and I'm introducing this just for the shaggy reasons, of course. So that people say that, oh, you know, they don't travel. This particular people, they don't travel. I don't want to go into those who travel and those who don't travel, but that is it. And I agree with you. I'm saying that to agree with what you're saying, that sometimes the experiences, having things at your disposal, you know, at your disposal, right, alone can actually shape how you see things.
You spoke about tribal. So in the lens of this psychologist, the tribal will go to social and it will go to spiritual. And the spiritual here has to do with the belief systems.
Right.
See, and tribal matters is much more. It's a matter of belief system, because the person grew up seeing my father as a certain tribe, seeing my mother as a certain tribe, sharing their ideas and then showing their sentiments. In fact, their behaviors can even show that they don't like this place. So as a son, you cannot travel there. As a daughter, you cannot travel there.
We don't want to go into all of those things. All right. Let's continue the conversation. Priscilla, what are your thoughts as well? Do you think we underestimate how travel shapes how we become as professionals? And do you think it's a Ghanaian thing?
Yes, I think that it really influences it a lot, because as Justice mentioned, there is this perspective that traveling allows you to get. And traveling, you don't have to necessarily go outside Ghana. It's just a change of environment. You know, sometimes all you need is a change of environment to be able to see other things, sometimes go to other regions. I'm not sure many Ghanaians have even been to other regions of the country before, and they are just stuck in maybe one particular region, or maybe it's Ashanti region. They've been at Ashanti region all their lives and all the time, and they've not even bothered to go to other regions as well. But then if you are to travel to all these places, you are able to see things in a different way.
Right.
I went to Dubai earlier this year, and one of the quotes that I saw by the sheikh was that you shouldn't treat work as something for your employer, but then do it as something that is for you. When I saw that quote, I really thought about it hard, and I realized that imagine if you come to work and then you treat the work anyhow. Who is it affecting on the day? It's affecting you, the employee, because if the company is running, that is when you are going to get something to do to get an income.
Right.
That's a sort of resource or something the Lord has given you to do. So if you don't do it well, that means that you end up going back home. So something like this, as a professional, since I traveled and I've seen something like that, it has reshaped my mind. It has made me see things from a different angle. So if maybe initially I wasn't treating work well, I would do something different. I'll do better, because I've got to know that I shouldn't treat the work as something that is for my boss, but then something that it is for me. And actually, when you look at countries like Dubai and those things, that is what is making the country actually work, because they are seeing it as a city or something that is for them. So if they want it to flourish, it should be something that they should all come together. So hardly will you even see someone even lecturing around. All right. So it all starts from there. And then you get to appreciate some of the companies here in Ghana as well, how you are supposed to do presentations, how you are supposed to do like a whole lot of things. So traveling actually helps people with even creative thinking and all that. There are some business ideas that it will not even come to your mind till you travel. You realize that even many of the travel and tour companies may have been as a result of people traveling. Maybe someone was just, the person just loved traveling. The person was like, okay, why don't I open it up to people, and why don't I start this particular service? And that is what actually led to maybe many people or many countries or travel and tour companies starting these kind of companies, right? So traveling is actually a good thing. And as Justice said, you don't actually need a huge amount of money to travel, right? Sometimes you could even be leaving your house just to go somewhere, maybe a hotel or something, just to spend the night there. And you realize that you receive a whole lot of ideas about where you are stuck and all those things. It could be that maybe someone wants to take a career path, the person is not able to. Once the person travels, the person can get an idea that, okay, you know what, I can do this, I can do that. Why don't I just start? Yeah. So it all starts from there. And the environment really affects how we see things, how we process things, how we get things done. It really affects that. So yeah,
Right.
thank you.
I was actually coming to you on those ones to tell us how traveling opens doors, and you talked about opportunities earlier, new ideas, and all of that. But I think you've tried to highlight some. I don't know whether there's anything you want to add to those ones. But if there's nothing, I can come to justice. First, like, can we move on?
Okay, so
Okay, you want to add something? Sure, go ahead.
okay, I would like to add something. So I think I've realized that most of the Ghanaian companies have started doing this, going on business retreats and all those things, strategy section and all those things. I believe that it's a very good thing because during this retreat and then sessions and all that, you realize that employees come together. They come together as one. You know, sometimes you can actually come to the office and you may not even utter a word to your colleague. Maybe you can just ask the person, "How are you?" or something. But then during these business retreats and all that, they are able to come together as one and get things done,
Right.
move, think about things, build trust, build communication, build in like a team. Because during these kind of sessions, work is given to them to do things together. During those times, they get to talk beyond the normal working hours, build relationships and everything. There are people who, in quotes, start to become besties at the office after these kind of strategic meetings. So it's a very good thing that can actually influence a lot of professionals and a lot of companies as well.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what I would like to add.
All right. Thank you very much